Well, the war in Ukraine continues to send ripple effects through the agricultural economy. As speculation rises over future implications, farm groups are positioning themselves to better address potential challenges. Bjerga with the National Milk Producers Federation joins us now for an update from the dairy sector. And Alan, as always, thanks for your time today. Now, you guys held your board of directors meeting earlier this week, and I understand, of course, there was a lot of discussion about Ukraine and its impact. Can you give us an idea?
Yes, it was a fascinating conversation among our farmer leaders at our board meeting in Arlington, Virginia earlier this week. This is the first time we got together in Arlington in 2 years. And once again, we're meeting in an atmosphere of crisis as we were 2 years ago. Now, this time, of course, is conflict in Ukraine. And there were really two tracks expressed at the meeting. One, of course, is, the look at how this affects agriculture and what may be happening in terms of farmer bottom lines and operations, as well as global food supply and food prices. Our board adopted a measure asking U.S. policymakers to immediately take the steps necessary to facilitate increased domestic energy production in all forms, basically a way to both keep energy security in the United States and alleviate some of the crunch that undoubtedly Americans are going to be facing in the next year and beyond. Now, along with that, however, there's simply the same conversation that everyone else is having, about the anguish over what has been happening, the look at the humanitarian catastrophe, wondering how people can help. Of course, as dairy producers, there's an interest in rural areas and agriculture. And I can tell you right now, there's great interest among our member co-ops in the dairy community in finding ways to help, both in the humanitarian side and frankly, down the line in terms of some of the agricultural assistance and technical side of things as this nation inevitably rebuilds itself. We're all strong supporters of freedom in the agriculture community. And when you see faith and family and freedom challenged that way, like you are seeing, you can't help but have your heart go out to folks in Ukraine and any way that people can be helping in Ukraine and in Eastern Europe. As this crisis continues, both now and beyond, we're going to be in it for the long haul.
Alan, is there any way that agriculture can meaningfully respond to the situation?
Frankly, that's something we're working on right now, and I wish I could tell you more, but I'm guessing the next time I speak with you, we'll be able to say something. We are actively looking for partnerships right now. Some of our members are becoming advanced, working with groups like the International Red Cross or Convoys of Hope, which is a place where product can go. But we also are looking at really some in-country sources in Ukraine that we may be able to build some relationships with. There's this immediate humanitarian need, and then there's going to be this ongoing agricultural need. U.S. is still the leading food producer in the world, but Ukraine is a heavyweight in its own right. That's going to have some big impacts on agriculture, but it also means that as a democratic nation that shares a lot of values with U.S. agriculture, I think American farmers are going to be ready to lead. And if you saw something at our meeting, in our board meeting earlier this week, a real sentiment for us to be leaders in the response to this situation.